Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a spectacular piece from Rolex for the 2021 model year. Now you can get your steel white gold Sky-Dweller on a Jubilee bracelet. It always looked like a large Datejust, and now Rolex takes that to its logical conclusion, equipping it with the Datejust's most famous accessory. The watch is 42 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. The bezel alone is white gold. It measures 14 millimeters thick. It's 50.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and the end length of the bracelet across the wrist, the total distance across the wrist, is 52.2 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Pop open the clasp. The lift lock system features a beak and a hook to keep it secured. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it's an easy watch to wear. It's big, but it's not ungainly. It's got a lovely grace to it, as the proportions are basically Datejust, albeit in larger dimensions. Because of the sloped case flank and the conical bezel, it slides well enough underneath a dress cuff, and you can see that it would be suitable for a wrist as small as about 15 centimeters in circumference. It really wears quite well. Taking a look at the hardware, this is the highlight. This is what's new for 2021. It's still referenced 326934, but the Jubilee bracelet replaces the previous Oyster. It's a 5-link design that actually vents better than the sports bracelet, as there are more gaps between the links. The short cross section of the links means they're quite silky, supple, and comfortable, even a little bit softer on the wrist than the Oyster. Removable links fixed by screws, and you can see alternately staggered alignment, staggered size, and staggered finish on these links. Roll over to the clasp one more time. You can see that beak and hook system, and it's not friction fit. You can see it actually does latch closed, so you need to lift to unlock it. Inside the clasp, you can see we have a, pop this open, easy link system. In or out, it's the equivalent of removing one sizable link, so you can get that 5 millimeter in or out adjustment without tools. If you need more adjustability, there are 3 divots drilled inside the clasp. You can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point inside of the clasp. Rolling back to the case, as I mentioned, it's like a big Datejust, so it's not the sheer squared off super case, the GMTs, the subs, the Explorer 2, and the Sea Dwellers. It's got a lovely rolled compound curved case flank, polished on the tops as well as the flanks of the lugs, and nicely tapered lugs too. Screw down crown, twin lock, 100 meters water resistant. The bezel in white gold is actually gray gold, so it's a straight through white gold alloy that never needs to be rhodium plated. Rolex, with its own foundry, makes its own gold as well as its own steel, and this is 904 steel, which is particularly anti-corrosive and does not need to be rinsed after exposure to seawater or bodily sweat. And again, gray gold, special type of 18 karat white gold that does never require any kind of rhodium plating. So I pull the crown out, screw it out, and then in the first position I can wind the watch. But when I pull it out, nothing happens. Turn the bezel, which is part of the movement, one click, and now you can see how I'm able to adjust the date as well as the month independently. So you can see there are these apertures, 12 months corresponding to 12 hours. So right now I am looking at the 8th hour, that's the 8th month, that's August right there. And you can see that little red index will move forward or backwards, as you can bidirectionally adjust this date and annual calendar system. So now I'm looking at, for example, September 1st. It's a bidirectionally adjustable quickset, but I'm not affecting any other part. It is an annual calendar, so you only need to adjust it once during the jump from February to March. Now I'm going to turn the bezel one more click counterclockwise. Now I can drive that local hour hand. Note the watch is still ticking. I'm not disrupting either of the minute hand or the second time zone. And you can see I can adjust the date forward in this mode, but not backwards. Now I turn one more click all the way counterclockwise. Note this is hacking seconds. This stops the seconds hand, and now I can adjust both time zones in sync. And you can see there is the 24-hour time zone at center and then the 12-hour local time. So you set your reference time at the index at 12 first, and then you set your local hour. So you set them in that sequence. Turn everything clockwise once more, and now you've set all and you're ready to go. Note that it features white gold Rolex crown, white gold hands, white gold indices to resist oxidation and tarnish over time. The dial is a lovely silver satin opaline with a soft glow rather than the bright shine of a sunburst, and it is a well-loomed watch, as post-2017 the Sky-Dwellers have been exceptionally well loomed with Rolex's own blue chromolite loom. Inside you have caliber 9001, 40 joules, automatic winding, 70-hour power reserve, reserve, quick set, annual calendar, stop seconds, full balance bridge with a free sprung index for shock tolerance, a handmade overcoil hairspring so it keeps excellent time in any physical position, the better to pass the COSC chronometer test, which it does, but then Rolex cases up the movement so that the watch can be tested, fully assembled, to tolerances no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. Finally, that hairspring features a niobium zirconium alloy blue oxidized that is resilient to corrosion as well as resistant to magnetism. So water resistant, shock resistant, anti-magnetic. This turns out to be a very, very tough watch. Beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and that's what you have with the Rolex Sky-Dweller now on Jubilee Bracelet. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.